Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Welcome to Wildcast Studio on Rogers TV for another episode of the Wildcast podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats, presented by Appliance Solutions, a premier destination for all KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and Maytag appliances. Right now, they got the KitchenAid built-in savings event. Save $600 when you purchase any 3 qualifying KitchenAid appliances, $800 when you purchase any 4, or $1,200 when you purchase any 5 from now until March 5th. As always, fan listeners, I am your host, Adam Lund, and I am joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. YQM, Mr. Starbucks, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. We've got some baby news.
Really?
Well, by the time you hear this, we have a new arrival.
Yeah, that's right.
By the time you hear this, Kiva Evryn Lund has made her debut into the world. She was born Monday. This is pre-recorded, so she was born Monday morning via C-section. So she is happy, she's healthy, and Mama is happy and healthy as well. Do you have some baby news?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's exciting.
Got some big news, and
I'm sure you're telling
people.
I
think before we share the baby news, I got bigger news.
You have bigger news.
Bigger news.
Uh-oh.
So when you're coming up to my house and there's that turn,
and
my house is on the left.
Yeah.
Well, that open field on the right.
Yeah.
They're building a Denny's and a Starbucks.
Are you serious?
So I'm going to be able to walk to Denny's and walk to Starbucks. Literally,
there's the reason you're Mr. Starbucks.
Footsteps from my house.
Oh,
I was actually more excited to share that than to share the baby news.
Yeah. I can see why. That's maybe why you are Mr. Starbucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I found that out. There's actually one of those signs in the field, and it says like City of Moncton approved rezoning and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this is perfect. Here I thought it was going to take a couple of years for it to build.
Yeah.
They're planning on opening by like the fall. So they're gonna have to break down like real quick.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be going to town on that in the summer if they want to build by
it's two different ones, right? Like it's not gonna be one of those. Remember the 90s when they built like a Wendy's, like the Wendy's and the Tim Hortons that are still connected? It's not gonna be a dual connected, is it? It's gonna be two standard, like
I think everything's gonna be connected.
Okay.
Like there's gonna be like there's gonna be a Denny's.
Yeah.
And there's going to be like the gas station, but
right.
The Starbucks is going to be inside the gas station.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And there's going to be a drive-through. I'm super pumped. Like, you're literally, I did a walk and it's going to take me 2 minutes and 15 seconds to walk to Denny's to get me a grand slam. So
IHOP is out then.
If I can walk to Denny's, IHOP is
completely out.
Yeah. But speaking of grand slam, yes. So baby news. So myself and Megan are having a boy.
What?
And we found that out on Wednesday of last week. And I think we've been arguing for 5 days over the name. But I was sitting on the toilet earlier today.
Where we all do our thinking, absolutely.
And I was like, I like this name. Do you like this name? And she's like, I love that name. I'm like, I love it too.
Hold on. You were sitting on the toilet. She was there.
No, she was at work.
Or you guys were texting?
Yeah, we were texting.
Cool. Because that made it seem like she was just like hanging out, standing again by the sink, and she's like,
no.
What do you think?
No. So I was like, I like this name. I will say, I'm not winning the Jacob argument.
Okay.
But spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It will be named after another former Wildcat.
So not Okaden.
Not Okaden.
For those wondering why we picked Okaden, there was a tweet that was like, girls have 4 boys in the name: Jaden, Braden, Aiden, and something else.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, girl, and then it's like Okaden.
Yeah, so it will be named after a former Wildcat, but not their last name. Sorry, not their first name.
Okay, that's cool.
So
that's cool.
A former Wildcat's last name will be our son's first name.
There's your clue.
You could probably narrow it down.
Probably.
Yeah,
but again, you've got some time. It might change.
It could change, but I think there was a first name that I liked.
Yeah.
She liked this name, so I think we're gonna do her name, then my name as the middle name, and then Boucher.
Is Avery getting some input on this?
Avery's big fan. Avery likes it.
Oh.
Avery likes it.
Did she have another name that she wanted? Like, did she's like, mommy, daddy, I want you to name, because
Yeah.
Haley came to us after we had thought of the name or whatever. We've had it for a couple months, and she's like, I have a bit of name request, and I'm like, okay, sure, go ahead. Like, obviously, we want you to be included in this. I don't want to share my initials. I want to be the only H. I want to be the only HT. And I'm like, that works, because you know what, kid? I've never been that type that wanted a Jaden, a Janice, a Jerry, the same names. I know, like, my family has that. There's Rhonda, Alan, Aislinn, Adam. So I didn't want this on me. You're good. She's like, okay, then you can name it whatever. Like,
So we've I think we finally settled on one that we all like, and just excited for the next.
And Avery's pretty pumped.
Yeah, she is. So next 4 months gonna be kind of exciting. 4 or 5 months.
You want to do the pool? Should we do the pool?
Maybe we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it.
Now that I know that you're getting a Denny's and a Starbucks, I'm really wishing that first video would have been you opened up the paper and it was, we're getting a Denny's and a Starbucks. that would have been perfect. But yeah, no, your video was cute, and I like the fact that you let Avery have the name, and you say 4 months, and it will be there like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got some planning to do, and I don't know, just by the time we know the Memorial Cup winner, we'll have a little Jeremy running around.
Is it Jeremy Jr.?
No.
JJ?
Yeah. No, there's no former Wildcats with the
last name Jeremy.
Jeremy. Yeah.
All right. Well, now I got to put on my thinking cap. Hell's Kitchen, are you caught up?
Caught up.
Okay. I wasn't sure when you caught up on these. If you caught up on Monday, for those wondering,
watched it live actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
We usually record Mondays. We're recording Sunday because Monday morning I was a little busy at the hospital, and Layla really frowns upon if you bring all this equipment to the baby room. She wants serenity. So we're recording on Thursday or Sunday, but I don't know if you were surprised by Whit being taken, by her being eliminated. I think
very bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter elimination.
Oh.
But I mean, just how she kind of had that blow up in the service. That was, that you had pretty much what did her. The Brandon the week before, feeling on everything, Whit blowing up because there's no pancetta.
Yeah,
you can't do that in the kitchen, especially around Gordon Ramsay, and especially when you're filming a TV show with guests, in the dining room. So that was pretty.
Because she was pretty bang on the like running the pass. It was the running the pass show, which I feel like they got to move that maybe to like get a black jacket, so that people don't know when it's coming, because I feel like now, I assume people watch these, but we've seen Amazing Race where they don't write notes down, and we've seen other things where they can, like, even Egypt was like, oh, this is the run the pass one. I've seen this many times. I know he's not going to get by me, and they didn't get a lot past him, but she seemed to be running the pass, and you could see a path to her being that. But like you said, I think that blow up was that was it. But Hannah still, she's quietly making quite a name for herself. I was pumped that it was Egypt. He's still my one pick. This might be the first time it's the first time I've been in the final three with these.
Wow. Shoot.
Yeah, because usually my guys are out like halfway through.
Yeah.
Big Brother, I've had more success than Hell's Kitchen, and I watch Hell's Kitchen.
You always pull that one out of your ass.
Yeah. Speaking of which, are you still watching that?
Big Brother? No, I don't watch the American one.
Yeah.
The Canadian one usually starts in
February, doesn't it?
February or March.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, you know what? It got pulled. Now that you mention it, it got pulled from
TV.
Did it? Yeah. Yeah. So there's not going to be a Big Brother Canada. As soon as you mentioned Big Brother Canada, I remembered that it got pulled from TV. There's like a petition to bring it back, but I don't think they got enough interest to do it. So we won't have that to talk about.
You want to
next month.
Talk about that with Pat either.
Yeah, that's going to be upsetting, but we'll have
you can talk to Pat about
the Royal Rumble. This Saturday.
WWE is all over Netflix. I have been binge watching as much as I can on late nights while she's sleeping, and I'm preparing myself for the 2 a.m. feedings by staying up till 2 a.m., which is probably not the smartest thing to do. But I've been watching all of them, and I was saying to you before we got on the air, I watched the 2001 Royal Rumble, which was one of the best Royal Rumbles I think they've ever had. I watched the 97 Royal Rumble, where of the 30 people, there was 2 that you could see a path. One was The Rock at 4, and one was Stone Cold Steve Austin at 24. I think he came in. But I watched that one, and then I watched the Monday Night Raw because they've got the Raw Vault, so you can go back and watch old Monday Night Raws. Knowing what we know now about Vince McMahon, I couldn't really even watch the storyline stuff, and it's the storyline with Trish and Kurt Angle and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And I'm just like, I had to fast forward. It was weird knowing. I mean, back then we just thought it was normal. I mean, maybe a little weird, but we thought the story that's just how the storylines were. But now knowing everything that's there, it's interesting to go back and watch. But yeah, we have the Royal Rumble this Saturday, February 1st. Right now, we know of 10 participants in the Royal Rumble and 7, which I think is always hilarious. That I'm announcing I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. You don't say. There's only 35 people on this roster. Of course, you're going to be in the Royal Rumble. We've got the men's and the women's. Who do you got? Who do you got in the men's Royal Rumble?
Oh, so apparently I didn't know this, but John Cena's on a farewell tour.
On a farewell tour. Of in-ring competition. He'll probably still work for the WWE, and he'll probably still do events and stuff. But actually wrestling, a schedule, this is it. So, which is funny because I tried to convince Layla to let me take Kiva to the Elimination Chamber on March 1st. I was like, what about for her birth gift? We get her a trip to see John Cena. It's last time in Toronto.
Yeah. And
she's like, or you just go and you're a single father. And I was like, cool. I guess I'm not going. So, I tried.
Oh, that's good. So men's Royal Rumble. Again, we don't know everyone that's going to be in it.
Yeah.
But I think I'll go with LA Knight. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good one. I like that one. So you got Owens and Cody Rhodes for the title in the ladder match. That's the Undisputed and the Winged Eagle, which I really hope they keep the Winged Eagle. And then Gunther's the other heavyweight champion. You haven't heard a lot about him recently. I think Drew McIntyre gets his flowers, I guess, so to speak. He won the Royal Rumble in 2020, just before the pandemic shut down. So he got his Royal Rumble, got his WrestleMania moments inside the Thunderdome with no fans. I just think it's his time. I see the path for CM Punk, but I don't want CM Punk to main event WrestleMania for a title. So I've got Drew McIntyre in the men's Royal Rumble. In the women's one, what do you got?
To the women's,
which might be the last women's Royal Rumble because they might not do one next year.
Really?
Well, it's in Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
And so you try and have a women's Royal Rumble where they're in their full spandex up to here, wrestling for 45 minutes in that heat.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do one next year, which kind of sucks because a lot of the years the women's Royal Rumble is a little less predictable than the men's.
I think I'll go a little off the board here. I'll go with Raquel Rodriguez.
Screwing over Liv Morgan.
I
like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Off the board a little bit.
I don't want Charlotte Flair to win. I don't think Charlotte Flair will win. I think Charlotte Flair will be screwed over by Jade Cargill. She will be revealed as the attacker from like a month and a half ago. I'm going to go someone who's not even in the WWE yet.
Ooh.
I'm going to go my girl, Alexa Bliss.
Nice.
She was rumored to come back last week as part of the Wyatt Six. Didn't happen because they moved to SmackDown. I think she makes her debut back at the Royal Rumble.
Can see it.
And I think she gets it. And I don't know who she'd go after. But yeah, I think I want Alexa Bliss back in the WWE. But yeah. So you gonna be watching? You gonna watch the?
Well, we'll have to. It's gonna start while we're at the rink, right? So
start while you're at the rink.
Oh, that's true. You're not going to be there. Yeah, I'll have to sit beside Pat and put up my Netflix.
Put up your Netflix account. And he's like, "Shut my cram square." Oh, my nice.
Santino Morella, what?
Yeah, I think it's at 7, probably 8 o'clock. And last year, the women's Royal Rumble kicked it off last year, I do believe. So, but yeah, right now there's only 4 matches on it. Men's, women's Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match, and then DIY versus Motor City Machine. So,
wow,
the fact that your world heavyweight champion isn't even in wrestling, any intercontinental titles, but that's the way the Triple H era PLEs go. They go with not a lot of matches and some quality. So, for all our Royal Rumble updates, stay tuned to our social medias where you can follow us on Moncton Wildcast on Twitter, Wildcast Podcast on Instagram, TikTok Wildcast Podcast as well. YouTube, don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. It lets us know what you like, what we're doing, and click the bell so you don't miss any podcast post games from now until the playoffs. Do you got any quick questions? Do you have anything?
I don't have a quick question. No.
I don't either.
Can't think of anything.
No, I thought I had one, and then she gone. Let's get to the news and notes.
News and notes from around the Q.
News and notes from around the Q presented by Integrity Lawn Care. Check them out on Instagram. Give them a call, 506-866-8218, or email them at integritylawncare@hotmail.com. We have a name for the Newfoundland team. It is the Newfoundland Regiment. Your thoughts?
Honestly, they could have thrown out 100 names, and none of them wouldn't have been as good as Regiment.
Yeah.
It's just so perfect.
Yeah.
It's got the military background. It's the logo itself. Your joke on Twitter really triggered a lot of people, which I had a lot of laughs about.
I'm getting there.
Somebody telling you to go get your preschool education, I think was one of the replies. So
yeah,
clearly a lot of very triggered Newfoundland and Halifax fans, because
it wasn't Halifax fans; it was Newfoundland fans.
Okay, yeah. So
for the most part,
a lot of triggered, people on the Rock that think we're not the most intelligent podcast, but
which is true. Sometimes we're not the most intelligent.
Here's the joke, and there it goes.
That was
right?
my favorite part. Like, can I copy your homework? Sure, but change it up a bit.
Yeah.
I know that it's a caribou. I know that it's a moose.
Yeah.
They changed it.
Yeah.
That's the joke. That. I didn't even respond to any of them because I was just like
I was just laughing.
Classless. What a swing and a miss by you.
Yeah.
Like, one guy was like, well, by that name, or by that theory, the Oceanic, the Eagles, and one other one are all the same because all the animals are pointing up to the right. But hey, 32,000 people viewed that tweet.
Bit of a stretch there.
Yeah, but I was just, sure, change it up a bit. They changed it up.
Yeah.
I do like the logo. I do like the name. We're gonna get into it here with a voice from the Rock, Drew Feltham, here in a few minutes. But I like the name. I like the colors. For me, and I understand the Newfoundland Regiment. I love the name. The logo, though, for me, I was more maybe a military thought to the logo that we were gonna have. Like I said last week, when we kind of didn't want to spoil the name that we thought.
Yep.
I was thinking maybe a military, like the battalion, something like that. But it's new, it's fresh, and I like it. And I'm just god awful thankful they didn't go with the Newfoundland Hockey Club, and we're going to figure out a name within the first 18 months or whatever. So
I think they're a little much more clever on the Rock than the Utah folks. So,
yeah, absolutely. Cape Breton Eagles coach Louis Robitaille collected his 300th QMJHL victory this week over, funny enough, Gatineau, 5-3. 13 wins with Drummondville, 127 with Victo, 99 with Gatineau, and 61 with Cape Breton. We have another jersey retirement, February 1st versus Bathurst. This time it is in Chicoutimi. It's Pierre-Marc Bouchard will have his number 96 raised to the rafters. He led the league in scoring in 2001, 2002 with 140 points.
Wild. They
were out in 4 games to Quebec that year. When went on to have a very successful career in Minnesota. Obviously, didn't win a Stanley Cup in Minnesota.
I said Wild.
Yeah, I know he didn't. No, I got it. Do you remember who was leading the Wildcats in scoring in 2000, 2001? I like to throw these little.
Okay, so 2000, 2001. Yeah. That was. Okay, so Steve Bernier.
Close. He was third with 31 goals, 28 assists. Who? Fifth, 33 points. Holy man, did it drop off after the top four?
Who did he play with? Carl Gagne, Steve Bernier. Really? Were they that deep?
No, they weren't very deep. There's 4 players that had over 50 points. That's it.
Who am I missing? Kevin Glode. He's probably down there.
Yep. Patrick Thorson.
Yeah.
30 goals, 43 assists, 73 points. And then Colin Cirelli had 71. And then Bernier and Samford had 58 and 59. And then Gagne at 33. Like 4 players. And then it dropped off when you talk about.
See, I should have known that because
depth.
that was wasn't their rookie year. No,
that was Bernier's rookie year and Thorson's rookie year, I guess. Yeah. But yeah. So I was thinking a different. You got year. 3 of the top 5 players that were in there. So but yeah, and with this being on Sunday due to the arrival Monday, we have no Q team of the week.
Nope.
We have no player of the week. We have no Boucher team of the week. But you know what we have? We got a guest. Mm-hmm. So let's get to that guest, eh? So I mean, like we kind of teased in the news from the league, we have a new team next season, and thankfully they may not be as dirty as what Bathurst is right now. So with new team in the league, we figured why not add a new media member to our group. We go across to Newfoundland to talk about the regiment with St. John Caps insider and from the YouTube channel, one of the craftier names, Drew Nye, the hockey guy, making his podcast debut, Drew Feltham. Drew, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, with the recent news, I'm through the roof. I'm sure there's more people in the province of Newfoundland that's feeling that way as well as of the latest news with Newfoundland getting Q team.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I think you were backstage, kind of heard us talk about the logo, the name, everything. Just your initial overall thoughts on being Newfoundland, kind of encompassing everybody instead of just St. John's. Do you think that was a major factor in naming this team? And just talk about the regiment.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, Newfoundland, I like that they named it Newfoundland because not only are they representing St. John's, but they're representing the whole province in Newfoundland in general. Another reason I really liked it, St. John's and St. John, New Brunswick sound a lot alike. So if you got those two teams playing against each other, St. John versus St. John's, you can get a little confusing here and there. But I mean, the regiment, I really like the name. I mean, I think it is one of the best options, honestly. I really like the regiment. Obviously, paying tribute to the guys back in World War I, World War II, paying good tribute there. But yeah, it's a pretty good name. I really like the logo. Obviously, my favorite NHL team is the Montreal Canadiens. Matches the team colors as well. I mean, it matches the Moncton Wildcats colors too, with the blue and red.
Yeah, I guess once it started coming out that you guys are going to be getting a team again, did you start paying attention to Bathurst a little more, and I guess who do you like on their roster, and who are you excited to watch as early as next season?
Yeah, obviously I want to talk about Ty Pettigrew. He's a Newfoundland native, going to be possibly playing here next year. But yeah, I paid attention to Colby Huggan, even though he won't be on the team next year because he is an overage player. I paid attention to him. He's been doing really well on the stats as of late. But one guy I really like, I've noticed, is Dawson Sharkey. I've noticed he can fight here and there. I know QMJHL fighting is banned, which is unfortunate. I mean, we used to have the ECHL team fight for amazing back then. But Sharkey can score goals here and there as well, rack up points on the scoreboard. But you got a guy like Nolan LeBurge, Peter Reynolds. All those guys are draft eligible this year, and maybe they'll get drafted, and we'll see them become NHL players in the bright future, I suppose. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one player that's not my favorite. I mean, if he's on your team, you're gonna love him in Dawson Sharkey. But if he's playing against you, you're gonna get some unfavorable love from him. But what's the appetite in St. John's right now with the season tickets? I think they announced about 700-800 deposits, but what's the overall? Is there more excitement now that you've got logos, you've got colors, you've got a name, or is it just people are just pumped to have this back and they're going to support it no matter what? Like, what's the feel in the city with Newfoundland?
Yeah, they're through the roof. Honestly, we got at the meeting of the announcement of the name. We had a bunch of minor hockey teams there, and they were all right fired up that we had this team coming here to the province of Newfoundland. And I mean, they're all fired up. And I mean, there were the Mario Cecchini looked at all the kids and he was like, "Hey, you could play in this league one day." And I mean, I'm sure they'll head to games. They'll be really loud. But I actually heard as of late, we've had about 1,400 people that have got season ticket deposits for the team. And when we had the Growls here in the ECHL, it was around that 700, 800 range. But with the Q team at 1,400, we could get butts and seats, which would be pretty good, honestly. And the goal here for the team, I know we have had travel that has been the issue, but if we can get attendance in seats, ticket sales going really good, honestly, and that gets money to the team for their flights, and maybe that helps the team stay here. Hopefully, we get this team here for a very long time.
Yeah, I guess I was going to ask you about that. I mean, have you heard anything about, what schedules will look like? Financially, who's going to be picking up the tab for these costs? And I guess anything else about transportation and accommodations on the side of things?
Yeah, so one of the owners on the team, I believe it's the Steels. John Steele, I believe, owns Steele Hotels. And there's a hotel right in front of the Mary Brown Center, the Jag. And I would guess visiting teams that come to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, that's where they'll stay for their weekend stay, I suppose. But when it comes to traveling, what I imagine, I don't know if this is what will officially happen, but there's a ferry that's down near Port of Bass, and they go all the way to Cape Breton Island. So what I imagine is, what if they went to Cape Breton, played a game there, then they travel to Halifax, go there, and then maybe they'll go up near St. John, Moncton, and then maybe Quebec or something like that. That's what I imagined. I don't know if that's what they'll do, but yeah, that's what I imagine. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be in. I think teams will go over and play sets of 2, and then support New St. John's will have to go on 10-day extended vacations and get all 8 teams in a conference done, and then go home and fly. It'll be it's obviously an exciting adventure when you have 2 new teams. But what is the biggest hurdle that this team will face compared to? I mean, we've had the Growlers there. I mean, the basketball league is the basketball league, but it seemed like it was supported in Newfoundland. What do you see as the biggest hiccup, I guess, in year 1, 2? I mean, they're not starting with a brand new franchise. They're getting a real good team in Bathurst. It's got a lot of draft picks, a lot of Newfoundland kids, and Jeremy's he's our insider for the draft, and Newfoundland's got a big year. 2 potential lottery picks. Like, what is the success that you see that kind of needs to happen early for Newfoundland to kind of make sure the fans are there for year 1, but stay in year 2 and 3? So, 3-4 years from now, we're not looking to take a team out of Newfoundland.
Yeah, I feel like that the attendance would be a big help, honestly. Like, if I remember when the Growlers came here, we weren't getting good attendances, and it was maybe around 2,000 people per game. That can't happen with the QMJHL team. They're going to have to impress us in that first season to get butts and seats, honestly. Because if you get a good first season, like the Growls did, they won the Kelly Cup their first season in the ECHL. But if you can get into the playoffs, go on a little bit of a deep run, that can gain traction, and possibly in the next season they can do even better, go on another step ahead into that almost playoff contention. But yeah, I think that really fans need to show up to these games. I do know that we have had a lot of fans that have joined. We have a Growls Nation group, I suppose, but it switched to Regiment Nation a few days ago. We've had a lot of people that have joined, a lot of people interested in going to these games. But then there's a lot of people not interested in going to games. I mean, they're not 100% sure if this team will officially stay. But honestly, if a lot of people go to these games, I feel like we can have a good chance on having a team here for 10 or more years, I suppose. But I really hope that this team actually stays, and hopefully it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the ownership group sounds like you guys have the right people in the right places. They appear to be, extremely dedicated hockey people, and they want to have the team, obviously around for a while. Like Adam mentioned, there's a possibility that the regiment will have two lottery picks looking ahead to the draft. And Neutral Zone, who's kind of an independent scouting agency, they release their rankings, and a Newfoundlander is their number one rated prospect. Benjamin Veitch, playing for I think York Simcoe. No, sorry, St. Andrews College, one of the two. I guess, what would it mean for a kid from St. John's to be the first overall pick playing for the Newfoundland Regiment?
I honestly think that would be huge. So actually, Ben's brother Andrew actually is a player for the junior caps, and I've chatted with Andrew a little bit and see how Ben's feeling about possibly being on this Newfoundland Regiment team, and he really hopes it happens because honestly, you really want to you really want to play for your hometown team. You look at the Growlers, for example. You had Zach O'Brien, James Melindy, and many more players that were hometown heroes, and they were fan favorites on the team, honestly. But when you have a player on the team like Ben Vitch, for example, that would possibly play on that team and scores goals, puts up points, is a really good player, that can gain traction. His family possibly comes to games. They may have a bunch of friends that can hop down to the games. But yeah, Vitch has been unbelievable for St. Andrews College this year. But another player that I noticed in the upcoming rankings, Alexis Joseph, he's looking to be really good in this upcoming draft. And if they drafted him over Vitch, I wouldn't be too upset. But I mean, with that hometown guy, it would get, I think, a little bit more fans and seats. But obviously, you want the stars over hometown kids. But I mean, it would be cool to have either or player. So I don't really care who we get. But I mean, Joseph, Vitch, whoever we get, it looks like it'll be a really good pick.
Yeah, with Joseph, you don't get very many 6'6", 16-year-olds that come around very often. So yeah, that'd be a pretty good pickup as well. I'd have to say.
Yeah, I think between Joseph, Vitch, and Scantlebury, I don't think you can go wrong when you have two of potential top 5 picks. But I mean, Bathurst did you a solid. I mean, they came into the trade deadline and they could have emptied the cupboards to go for a run here, but they're leaving Newfoundland with some very good picks to build early on, and to get the success. I guess just moving away from the regiment, I almost said the Growlers, the regiment a little bit. Drew and I, the hockey guy, just very, very clever name there on your YouTube show. Just talk about that, and obviously your thoughts on Hockey Canada. You were we started following you, and your thoughts during the World Junior were quite enjoyable to watch. Just your thoughts on how your channel going, the St. John Caps, and just, what you're doing until the regiment get there.
Yeah, so basically, I've been the media guy for the St. John's Junior Caps. They're having themselves a really good season. They're first in the league. Thanks to Steve Callahan, I've been a big part of their organization. Get to do a little bit of interviews here and there, but I also season ticket holder for the season senior caps. They've been doing really well this year, but basically with the Growlers folding, you've got senior hockey and junior hockey now. Is that better than QMJHL? I don't think so. So I'm really happy that we're going to have this team here next year. But I actually kind of wanted to talk about Hockey Canada a little bit, because the QMJHL Newfoundland team put out a post a little earlier, maybe a day ago. What do you want the goal song to be? Obviously, Moncton, Halifax were the hosts a few years ago, and Team Canada's goal song was Heave Away. That has to be the goal song for the Newfoundland Regiment. It absolutely has to be. There are fans I know that are like, that isn't a goal song, it's a win song. I think it would work perfect as a goal song, especially if you get fans in seats. They're clapping their hand, they're getting all excited for that goal song. But yeah, basically, to Hockey Canada, the World Juniors, might want to forget about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you summed it up pretty good.
Yeah, you summed it up. Yeah, no, we're behind you on the heave away. I know the Wildcats use it when we beat Halifax, and they use it kind of at the end of games right now.
I think the Friday night, the DJ was absolutely on point with all the Newfoundland songs, considering we were playing Bathurst. So props to our DJ.
Yeah, we wanted Venga Boys. We like to party. I think that would be a good goal song, but I just can't unhear Heave Away being a goal song or something Newfoundland wise for that. But man, we really appreciate you taking the time and to join us. And for any fans that want to follow you and get all the regiment news, there's a lot out there. Just where do they find you on all the social medias? And get your time to plug away.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. That's Drew Feltham. That's just Drew Feltham. I post most of my stuff on Twitter. But then on my YouTube channel, I got Drew and I, the Hockey Guy. I'm filming content this year for the St. John's Junior and Senior Caps. So basically, next year I'll be doing some Q content. I'll tell you that for free. And I'll see what I can do next year because it's gonna be a big first year in the inaugural season for the team. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Perfect, Drew. Well, you know what? We appreciate you coming on and being part of the media now for our show. And this definitely will probably not be the last time we have you on. So thanks for taking time out of your Sunday to talk to us.
Yeah, thanks. Anytime, guys.
That's always good to bring new media members into this. And I mean, he's all over YouTube and social media with his Caps content. So I hope this Caps content translates into him kind of maybe working for the team. But yeah, no, I do love the name, and I'm excited for this to work. But I think a lot of fans just don't understand how it's going to work when it hasn't in the past. But I am glad they went away from Fog Devils. I am glad they went away from trying to make the Growlers again standalone. But yeah, it was good to talk to somebody over there that is in the excitement of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was going to give him a hard time for wearing a Boston University hoodie, but then I realized
UMass,
UMaine hockey. Yeah. So can't really give him a hard time when I'm just as guilty. So, but no, it's first time caller, long time listener. Is that what we always say? But it's always good to have some first time guests, and he's got a little work to do to catch up to some of the other guys, but
you start at one, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're not you don't make inbounds without your first appearance.
Nope, that's exactly it. And well spoken, very good guest, and it'll be exciting to have him on around the draft time when he can kind of dig into the draft and give us a sense of where this team's going to go and into Christmas with their first trade deadline. And I think it's like when you had Seattle expansion and Vegas expansion. They need to win, and they need to win quick, and they're poised to win now with the Bathurst team they have. Like that Bathurst team can be quite scary, and they have, like I said, 2 chances of winning the lottery. And like Moncton, when they had Caleb, they got the one, they got a second one, and then they can move on and add a veteran piece. And I think they're poised to do that. And hey, we have a 20-year-old goaltender that could help stem the tide a little bit for a couple early round picks that is from Newfoundland.
Well,
you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
At the same time, I think they'd probably run with their their Latvian Mikas Vinavag.
Yeah, I would imagine they would too.
Yeah, but they also have Antoine Prue in the system, right? That So I don't think they'll move on.
The undefeated Antoine Prue.
Right. So I don't think they'll need to worry about goaltending next season.
Yeah.
They very well could be a Vegas, where they go in there as a first year team and make it all the way to the championship because they've got the pieces to do that. It wouldn't be surprised me if they are a contender next season because there's going to be a drop off because look, we're not going to be as good.
Nope.
Cape Breton's not going to be as good.
Nope. Halifax
still won't be there. St. John won't be there. Charlottetown still won't be there.
Yeah.
So I honest to God think Newfoundland Regiment, it's their division. As long as they may have to change it to the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll go Quebec Major Junior Hockey League again.
No, there's no way. There's no. I can't
see it, but I
can't think.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was interviewing the commissioner when I was writing for the Hockey News, I asked him about that. I said, does this kind of avoid? Is this going to? I guess I'm going to word this, take away any opportunity of expansion, to the U.S. And he's like, no.
Okay.
It's the Maritimes Junior Hockey League, and we didn't go through this revamping and renaming and a new
Branding, I
logo
guess,
and all this other just for nothing. So,
Okay, good.
the fans in Newfoundland will have to live with it as being the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League, and
I think
I think they could very well be a contender next, as early as their first season, which will only help.
Yeah, I mean, in the Eastern Conference, you have Chicoutimi.
Yeah,
they're going to be. It's going to be just like this year. Moncton and Rimouski. It's Chicoutimi and Bathurst next year.
Yeah,
and when you look at the Western Conference, Sherbrooke and Shawinigan, like they're primed to be a top 4 team, and
Blainville will be good too. But it's not gonna.
It's not like this year where there's like 9 or 10 teams that can contend.
Yeah, I really think they're going to have a very successful first season.
Yeah. I think they are getting just like when they had, just like Drew said, when they had the Growlers and they won the Kelly Cup in year 1. Like, perfect time to get a team is when the team is on the upswing and ready to make some noise. All right, let's get into our team. Let's get into the weekly rewind.
Weekly rewind.
All right, the Wildcats split the weekend series, going 1-1, bringing the record to 34-8-2 for 70 points, first in the Maritimes, Eastern Conference, and in the QMJHL. Still setting up a first-round matchup with the Rampart. So Friday against the Regiment, soon enough, they took on Bathurst, and you said it here last week. The team was due for a breakout. We didn't know when it was going to come. We didn't think it was going to come Friday. They listened. They responded. A 7-1 victory over the Titan, who, once it got to 5, they started to take their pound of flesh. And there's being a team that's hard to play against, and there's being a dirty team. And Bathurst has now got that reputation as get 4 or 5 on them, and without fighting in the league, and I'm not going to say that would have changed any of the outcome, they're going to go for their pound of flesh.
What the hell am I doing here? There we go.
I don't know.
I was just trying to figure out my headset. But you're right. I said it last week. They were due for an offensive breakout, and they got it. Just an insane difference compared to that game last, in Bathurst, the 2-1 loss. They got nothing in the middle of the ice. All their shots were kept to the outside.
Yep.
And it just seemed like all these goals, they were finding open ice in the middle and converting their opportunities. They were physical. They were creating turnovers. They were opportunistic on their turnovers.
They scored on the power play.
It was a totally different team than what we saw the Sunday before in Bathurst, which that 2-1 loss. It was just a dominating game, and they are able to roll all 4 lines, which we haven't seen in how long. But then they got into some injury trouble. They had to pivot a little bit and restructure the lines, and it didn't do anything. They were still chipping away. As you got late in the game, you saw like guys like Riley Sampson getting power play opportunities, which is nice to see. But yeah, they were due for a game like this. As soon as you saw, when you saw Mercier was just a pit bull in that game, like you knew it was going to have an effect, and he had the turnover that led to the first goal. Right, they were getting shots. They were getting shots from the point on goal. Yeah, and again, that's something we didn't see against Bathurst. And those shots on goals were creating turnovers and rebounds and deflections, and that's how they were generating their offense. They were generating from the back end, and they got the results they needed.
Yeah, and that's, the injury was a bit of and I think that kind of hurt them going into the next game, which we'll talk about here momentarily, but that was probably the best 60 minutes I've seen, at least in 2025, but I can't remember the last time they played a full 60 minutes like that where everything was working.
I think it was probably that last game before Christmas break against Cape Breton.
Yeah. Thank you for answering that.
No.
I was like, I know it was recent.
Yeah.
Like when your power play goes 3 for 7, and that was the big thing, is if Bathurst was going to be stupid and take penalties, you had to make them pay for it. And that's exactly what Moncton did. And you know what? If you're going to try and play the injury game and take stupid penalties and stupid shots you don't need to, I am totally fine with them putting the number 1 power play out at the end of the game. to score again. Absolutely. Run up the score. You want to be stupid? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You want to do that? I have no idea. And then get mad at us for putting the number 1 power play out.
Yeah.
Come on. You guys have gone after 88 every single game all year. They finally got him this year or this game. He didn't return midway through the first, or I think he played one shift. I think somebody up in the booth said he played one shift and didn't come back. He's week to week right now. So play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So I have no problem with them continuing to put out that number 1 power play. Now, Karchek, Crosby, Kluche went out that game. Like it was tough, and but it was good to see Vidicek got his 300 point. Mercier had his 200th game. It just didn't quite translate to Saturday.
No, that was the difference. I mean, it was a tough start. It was just different. You know, I think Johansson I counted 7 shots from the point that went right into shin pads. Yeah. You know, and that wasn't happening the night before. I think their only shot that didn't get very many shots from the point through the net. The one they did was a Dylan Gill wrist shot.
Yep.
That was the first goal.
Yep.
And the third one was a Grenier wrister. You know,
and he had to wait for that. He was patient on that. If he let that thing go right away, it was going to get blocked.
It's going to block.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You know, if you wait that extra second, you wait for a defender to make a move. Yeah. You could possibly get that shot through. And I think that's not what in some cases that's not what they're doing. They're rushing their opportunities, and it's getting blocked, and it's just creating an odd man in some cases an odd man rush the other way.
Yeah.
So it's shot selection right now from the point that's really it was almost a difference maker. You know, it was Rimouski was getting their shots through, and we weren't.
Yeah.
And they almost seemed like they were nervous or timid or something. They seemed off.
Yeah. We talked to Gabe and Dylan after the game, and I asked Gabe, I said, you know, you lost Pekarchek, you lost Crosby, you had some injuries. Was that maybe a small difference maker, new lines? I mean, he's rolled different lines at different times throughout the season. So, but it seemed like they were playing fast when they didn't need to. Like, we got to get this shot to the point. We got to make this play. Like, they're the Memorial Cup hosts. They're built to be in that. They're built to win that tournament. They're better than I thought they were live. Like, I knew they were a good team. Don't hear what I'm not saying. They added enough. I knew they were a good team, but to see them live as opposed to on TV, they're a good team. They're a puck possession team. They play fast. They turn defense into offense real quick through that neutral zone. LaSalle is a real good goaltender. Yeah. At the age of 17, I don't know how that's going to translate when you get into the playoffs and into the actual Memorial Cup. But right now, I mean, he had a save at the end of the game. Not sure it would have changed much. Would have made it 5-4 with about 14, 15 seconds left. But he absolutely robs Vidicek on the doorstep. Glove save. If you give him eyes and you let him see the puck, he's not going to let that in. But I thought the start wasn't there, like Dylan McKinnon said. But I thought they responded real well. And as quiet as that building is, which you're kind of seeing on social media now, the fans are kind of calling other fans out for being quiet. They were 2-2, and they were in that game. The building had some energy, and then it was one of the most freak plays that in my 6 years being here, I've never seen something like that. Yeah. Dorian runs into Moran. Fauchon is able to get around him. It makes it 3-2, and the air got sucked out of that building. The Wildcats' mentality changed on that. They were more upset at the official, which I understand. They're kids. It's junior hockey, but it was part of the game. If you go back and watch the replay, Dorian's trying to get to the boards, and he looks up and sees Moran coming. So he sees him on that outside angle. He tries to go inside. At that same time, Moran sees him on the outside angle, tries to turn inside. They run into each other. Would I love to see something like that get blown down? Yes. If it would have happened to the Wildcats, I'd still say that. It's part of the game. But that's like I said to Chris Corey after this intermission. That's hockey.
Mhm.
That's hockey gods paying him back, because we both looked at each other on that Fauchon hit and said that was a clean hit. That shouldn't have been a penalty.
Yeah.
They didn't agree with that. They got the hockey god of the 3-2. But I think the backbreaker, and I said it on the live last night, I don't want to turn into every win is a team win and every loss is a Russo win. But that fourth goal over his shoulder was a backbreaker. If they get out of that period 3-2, if they get out of the second period down 3-2, they can go into the room, they can regroup as a group and come back out. It might be a different hockey game. But that goal with 15 seconds left over his blocker's side, can't have that going down 4-2 in the room. It was basically fait accompli, taking the 4-minute penalty too as well. And then Matejko unfortunately scores against us again on a goal that Russo's got to have. Like those fourth and fifth ones, he has to have.
Yeah.
But especially that fourth one, if they're down 3-2, I think there's a possibility they might even get it to overtime. But being down 4-2, I think that was kind of it.
Yeah, no, you're right. That Jay Doran incident kind of almost took it changed the game completely. Yeah. It was something I've never seen before. You're right, but again, linesmen, referees, they're part of the game,
and no one feels worse than he does.
Yep. But I'll give it to Jay Doran. That's a pretty good body check. Yeah,
it really was. Shoulder to shoulder
to knock a signed NHL player to their feet as a QMJHL linesman. That's pretty damn impressive. I'll give him that. Yeah. It's you saw the team kind of sink a little bit right after that incident. The Samson breakaway got them energized a little bit, but then that happened, and you just saw the ice tilt. Yeah. You saw there's a lot more. The body language was different after that incident. But Dylan McKinnon, in our post game interview, he said, that was unacceptable. Mm-hmm. The effort was unacceptable. Said it won't happen again. Guaranteed it won't happen again. Actually,
yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how they respond in Cape Breton on Thursday, because they've yet to lose back-to-back games. So, if Dylan McKinnon in regulation, right? So if Dylan McKinnon says, that it's unacceptable and it won't happen again, I expect this team to be to come back Thursday night and play Wildcats hockey.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows, he has an intimidating stature, and when he tells you to, he looks you in the eye and says it won't happen again. I believed him. Yep. I believed him. Eric Matejko has 5 goals in 5 games for Rimouski. And in 4 games against Moncton, he's got 5 goals.
He still leads the Sea Dogs in scoring.
I was just going down to look at that to make sure he still does. Does he still do it?
I'm sure he does. Does he not?
That's where I'm going down. Rimouski, Ren, St. John.
He should.
31 points for Tivy. Oh, he leads them in goals. So he doesn't have points. Okay. Yeah, he leads them in goals. He's got 14 goals. Petal and Urid have 11. So
that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, 4 goals against Moncton is, he scores against us. And what I did notice about this game, for as good as that team is 5-on-5, and as much as we talked about the power play last week for our team, the big reason they were in this hockey game was the fact that Rimouski was 0 for 4 on the power play, including a 4-minute.
Yeah.
And I think Rimouski's at like 14th in the league on power play. So
seems like the
not even
best
16th
teams on paper have the worst power play.
Yeah, 16th in the power play at 17%. Moncton still PK at 85%. But we talked to Preston the night before about the pride in the power play or in the penalty kill, and that's what they have. They have a pride in making sure teams shut down, and that's keeping them in games. If they convert on 1 or 2 of those, it's absolutely over. But that was a DL level defensive game. 47 shots. They were averaging 25 a game. Moncton was giving up 29. They gave up 47. So
yeah, first goal's a turnover behind the net.
Yeah.
Second goal, 5 guys standing around.
And the first one was
and
Russo trying to get the puck out of there, and he just happened to tap it right past Dinwiddie's stick. Like,
Yeah.
if that goes even this much the other way, it's right on Dinwiddie's tape, and it's going the other way.
Yeah. It's just a game of inches, and so turnover in the first goal, 5 guys standing around on the second goal.
Yeah.
And third goal, Jay
Nothing you can
Doran.
do. Yeah.
Fourth goal, bad. Fifth
Yeah.
goal, bad. Just defensively and goaltending wise, it wasn't a great game.
Mhm.
It's it sucked to see Dinway's point streak come to an end, but Mercier kept his going, and I think he's got the longest one in the league right now.
Yep.
So that's good. Got to find some positives here.
And we had a comment on our YouTube from Jay Vulture, I believe, that said, better now than in March, right? Like,
better now or than on June 1st.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's then. Where was this comment here? I want to get it. Oh, Eddie Vautour 7870.
Yeah.
It was on the post-game interview comments. He said, I don't have a problem believing Dylan. Neither do we. Been around long enough to know good medicine. The boys know what they got outplayed. He acknowledged they plainly got outplayed, and this team is better for it. It was an eye opener to play that, but it's what the doctor ordered. Now they can take 2 or 3 from Cape Breton. This is a stretch of critical games molding this team into a champion. Better to find the cracks in January than March or later, and that's 100% right. And I tried to get that answer out of Dylan in terms of when you have a game like this. Is it a benefit to have 3 straight against a team like Cape Breton, which is a tough divisional opponent? He answered it, but more so like it doesn't matter what other teams do. But looking ahead, I think this is a perfect scenario for this team to have this weird mini 3-game set with Cape Breton. Now they're 20 points behind us in the standings, but it's a divisional battle, and they've played really well against us in the past couple of years. So that it probably helps them that they got to see what Rimouski's like. They know the bar they need to get to. We weren't 100% healthy. The game in Rimouski in March, it's the first game of a road trip, but it's the first game for both teams. And I think that's beneficial. But Karchek makes a difference where you can roll 3.5 lines instead of 2.5.
So, yeah.
I'm not saying that's the reason they lost.
No,
either.
but I do want to address that. I think they tried a little too hard to line match. It came back to bite them in the butt. They took a too many man penalty.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to line match on the fly.
Yeah.
Just roll your 4 lines. If you're so proud about your defensive game, just put out whoever you want to put out. I mean, I hate when a player gets called up for them to be grilled to the bench.
Yeah.
Jack Kane got a shift in the first period and didn't see another shift until the end of the third period.
Cooper Cormier didn't see another shift.
Yeah. So it's a no. Oh shit. Chair just adjusted on me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like that.
No.
We've got 4 lines. Roll the 4 lines. Don't grill these players to the bench. It's not a good look. And that doesn't seem like something you would expect from a Gardner McDougall coach team, where you just grill, you sit guys and you don't play. You roll 3 lines and you leave your 4th line, just they're keeping the bench warm. I don't like that.
No.
You're here for a reason. The players are here for a reason. Give them the ice time and let them play.
Yeah. Yeah, because once you shorten a bench when you're already shorthanded without Crosby, without Karchek, that bench gets even shorter. And
they were overworking.
I have no problem shortening a bench in round 2 in March.
Yeah.
Round 3 in April. No problem with it. Middle of January? And I don't know why Guimond didn't play against Bathurst either. You look at what Rimouski did. They had their backup go against St. John. LaSalle was rested for us. They've got their backup going tonight. So on a road trip, LaSalle's playing 1 game. Like and I'm not saying that if you play Guimont on Friday against Bathurst, then we beat Rimouski because Rousseau's rested. I understand that, but it's January, and I'm almost at the point where I'm tired of talking about that kind of stuff. But he's played 36 games now. The most he's ever played is 49. So there's 21 games left. And
at this point, when is Guimont going to play again?
Yeah.
That's
because Rousseau's played 3 in a row. He's probably going to play against Cape Breton. He's played a ton against Cape Breton, so they're going to have a book on him. And look, Rudy's earned starts. Like, he's 5-0. He's given the team points. And I don't know if they're waiting to clinch a playoff spot to give him more starts. But I truly don't think this team's going to fall off and miss the playoffs.
Oh, God. No.
Considering we clinched if Gatineau got a point or didn't get a point today on Sunday. But like we said in our Megala show that this was going to be a tough second half. They've got 2 and 3, 3 and 3, 3 and 5, and then 2 and 3, and then 2 and 2. Like the whole month of February, they've got 3 days between games. If you don't count the Sunday to Monday or Sunday to Thursday. So you have to start getting them some starts. And I don't understand the reasoning to not put your backup in. We have a team. You built a team with depth. You built a team you believe in. Let the guys go. If it creates a goaltender controversy, good. If we come on here in 2 weeks, we're talking about, is Rudy enough to be the number 1 right now? Good. That is never a bad problem to have. And one of the Halifax fans that was there on the live last night said, Rousseau, if given the option, will never give up the net. Cool. Don't give him the option. Walk into that schedule in February and lay it out. You're playing here, you're playing here, you're playing here, you're playing here. That Cape Breton, St. John, Charlottetown game in the first weekend of February, there's no reason Rudy shouldn't play 2 of those games. Should play 2 of those games. It's time to. You talked about it at the trade deadline. You said they're playing with fire. And you said last night with Rimouski's, like a Saturday night, Rimouski's lineup card that come out, they had 4 healthy scratches. We have 2 injured players, and if they're not playing, we have 1 healthy scratch. 2 with Mullen. You have a team of depth you built. Believe in them. Roll all 4 lines. Amen. So roll all 4 lines. Roll both goaltenders. Get Mullen a game. Mullen is very good at getting shots through. Not that other guys aren't, but get Mullen in one of these games, unless he's actually injured. And again, we don't know. The only one we know about is Pekarchek, who's week to week. But if he's able to go, give him a game. Not that any of the defensemen play bad, but rotate your 7 defensemen so at least these guys are getting a little bit of rest. Look, Matejko didn't play for a week and a half after he got back from the World Juniors.
Didn't seem to affect him very at all.
Didn't affect him because Rimouski's goal is not January wins. Rimouski's goal is March, April, and June wins. And that's what our goal should be. So if you're going to go with 7 defensemen on the roster.
March, April, and June wins. Are you saying that Rimouski's going to be out in the second round?
No.
He missed a whole month there, man.
If there's a team that would take absolute complete advantage of that.
Well, there is a Mem Cup host jinx that's been going on lately.
There is,
so.
Yeah, there is. All right. Well, I mean, there's not. I don't know. You got anything left?
No. Roll 4 lines. Play your goalies. Get shots through.
Pick up dubs.
Yep. Pretty much.
All right. Let's get to everyone's favorite part of the show.
Eric Murray, Realtor. Buy your house from him. Stick tap of the week.
This is usually my part, but we're going to do a trade.
We are going to do a trade. What?
So I'm going to hand this section of the show over to Adam.
Yeah. And this one, I appreciate that. Thank you. Again, this one goes out to all of our fans. And try not to get emotional through this, that have been through both of our journeys. and everyone is so happy that both of us are expanding our podcast family. Kiva born Monday. Jeremy Years is coming hopefully after the Wildcats win the Memorial
That's
Cup.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, through all the messages we've received, both of us as well, Layla receiving gifts that we didn't expect. We didn't, we love that you did it. Kim and Brent Bourne came with props. A blanket with her name on it.
That's awesome.
A toque that's a little small, a little big for her, with her name on it. An outfit. After every storm, there's a rainbow of hope. Here I am, because babies after loss are called rainbow babies.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday night, Vicky Patterson, who is a new fan of our show, new fan, new listener, messaged me, said I had a gift for us, and I'm like, you don't need to give us a gift, but we love it. Couldn't open it till I got home with Layla, and I opened it, and it's a beautifully made. Oh, I lost my camera. Hang on. That's embarrassing. There we go. All right. It's a beautifully made knitted blanket.
Nice.
With Riker's number 27 up in the corner. Wildcats colors around it. Rainbow for rainbow babies, obviously, which, like I said, born after a loss. To the Wildcats that have messaged, and Taylor reaching out to both of us and thanking us. It's just Layla and I are so blessed to live here and meet some incredible people through the show, through all of Riker's happenings and everything. And to you two, you and Megan, you're gonna feed us one night.
Yeah. I want to bring you sushi.
Yeah. You're gonna bring Layla sushi.
I'm gonna make you eat sushi.
You're gonna bring Layla sushi. She's got a friend that's doing a meal train where people are gonna drop off meals. Like it's unbelievable. And we thank everyone. So the stick tap of the week just goes to everyone who has been there for us through our journeys, and will continue to be there for us as Kiva and the aforementioned Boucher Jr. grow up.
That's right.
The stick tap of the week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the Remax Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
And we said we're doing trades, so this is my part. So if I can do this right. That brings us to the Wildcast Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary Lynns Massage and Spa. Teeth whitening, now available for booking.
Yep.
Starting at $85. 3 15-minute services are included in your service price. Add another 15 minutes for only $20. And don't forget their loyalty card. Buy 9 spa services, get 1 free. Call them at 506-830-1224 or visit them at 1224 Mountain Road. And the Wildcast Wildcat of the Week.
Well done.
I should give it to Anthony Flanagan, who just converted into an empty net to give the Islanders win over Rimouski. However, I will give it to number 10 on the ice, but number 1 in your hearts, Alex Mercier. I don't have the stat line in front of me. You want to help me out here?
15 game point streak, 6 goals, 16 assists, 22 points.
There we go. There were some other options available.
Yep.
However, I went with who kind of got the game going on Friday, and I think who had probably the better presence on the ice offensively on Saturday. There we go, Mr. Alex Mercier. If your dad Richard is listening, always good to see you.
And that's it. That'll do it for this week. Again, the bus trip is almost sold out. There's 7 spots left. You got 2 games because this month takes forever. You got 2 games left. Actually, got 1 game left, Cape Breton game. But you still got about a week left to get your tickets. $50 gets you a seat on the bus. A $50 deposit, gets you a seat on the bus. And that is for the Rimouski, Sherbrooke, Blainville trip from March 5th to March 8th, which that's going to be a dandy of a game in Rimouski, that first game of the road trip. So if you want to go to that, go to the Moncton Wildcats fan club on Facebook, get in touch with Tanya Stewart, Nicole Solomon, or Bruce Arsenault to secure your seat. Saturday, February 1st is Superhero Night, which I will say, video game night, they did a real good job.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
There it is. They did a pretty good job with video game night.
They did.
I thought they did a real good job with that. So if you want to dress your little ones up as superheroes, try to find a costume that looks like Jeremy and I. We are superheroes of ourselves. Yeah, nobody thinks we're superheroes.
No, we're like Pokemon.
I don't even know what Pokemon is right now. But if you're looking for tickets, you're looking for a discount, and you have the Hometown Rewards app, they do have a discount code. If you don't have that app, download it. You'll get the discount code. And again, want to send a big thanks to Drew Feltham of Drew and I, the hockey guy, who joined us to talk about the Newfoundland Regiment, who will make their debut next season in Newfoundland. Oh, and that's it. That is it for this week. For Jeremy, I'm Adam. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.